So this past Saturday, I got up in the morning to watch Liverpool against Southampton. I just find it very interesting to watch Liverpool now because they could go unbeaten, and it's fun to just watch greatness because you really don't get to see those types of things often. My mom and I were watching the game, and she saw how Liverpool was just getting absolutely dominated in the first half. But my mom knows enough to know that Liverpool usually always finds a way to win. I told my mom after the first half ended, I'm like, Southampton's probably going to live to regret missing all of these chances. And she's like, yeah, well, I feel like that's what Liverpool does all the time, or whenever I watch them. She said, Liverpool just kind of waits and they score whenever they feel like it. They just always win. And then she just got up and went to the store. She came back once the game was over. She's like, what was the score? What happened? And I'm like, oh, Liverpool ended up winning 4-0. And she just kind of chuckled. And she asked who scored the goals. And I told her, oh, well, Salah scored too. She, by the way, for the record, she absolutely hates Mohamed Salah. I don't know why, but she said that she feels like he tries to copy Messi and all his gestures and the way that he plays or whatever. Take it easy on my mom, please. Um, but she knew. She's a casual fan, and she knew. She knew what was going to happen. She knew that Liverpool was not going to lose at home. Are you kidding me? They weren't going to lose that game. She knew. She knew that greatness was going to take over eventually, and they were going to find a way to win. It happens. That's what happens. Now let's go to Germany. The Bundesliga. I talked about the Bundesliga a few weeks ago. And I remember I was very excited because Bayern Munich was not in first place. And I was like, I secretly thought to myself, this could be it. This could be the season where Bayern Munich finally gets dethroned. And we finally get to see a new team crown themselves as Bundesliga champions. Ha ha ha. No. Bayern Munich, everyone went crazy because of the crisis. Niko Kovac is gone. Bayern Munich lacks depth. Joshua Kimmich wants more players. Thomas Müller wants out. Panic, panic, panic. Bayern Munich erased them from the Bundesliga title race. Everyone forgot that the point difference was like 4. So it was nothing. And then they're like, all right, let's go back to basics. Let's just play. Let's just win these games. And they started winning, and they started winning, and winning, and winning. Winter break, whatever. We'll regroup again. They come back, win, 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 and they're in first place. They're on top of the Bundesliga all of a sudden. They're on top of the Bundesliga again. Because, of course, the teams that were in first place, like Leipzig and Mönchengladbach, suddenly decide to just play bad. That's the difference between a good team and a great team. Great teams find a way to win. Bayern Munich found a way to win these games and get back on top where they belong, because that's where they belong. Let's just be honest. That's where Bayern Munich belongs, at the top of the Bundesliga. That's exactly where they belong. And now, Bayern Munich and Leipzig play this weekend. And it's going to be fun, because if I was a betting man, which I am not, but if I was, I'd put my money on Bayern Munich. They're probably going to win. I'd even put my money on Bayern Munich winning the league. Here's a hot take. If Bayern Munich wins this weekend, just end the league. It's over. It's done. It is done. Greatness took over once again. They found a way to win. And they're just going to win the Bundesliga again. Should they win this weekend against Leipzig? Very possible, because they play in Munich. And now let's talk about Real Madrid. We talked about Atletico and their problems. Now let's talk about Real Madrid. A team that silently, they don't make much noise. At least this season, they haven't said much. They haven't really been very flashy, very flamboyant. They just got the job done. Again, as I was watching the game, and I addressed this in the previous segment, I talked about how Real Madrid was very narrow. They had no surprise factor to them. They were very. That's how I described Zidane a couple weeks ago. But they were very like, all right, cool. In the first half, then Zinedine Zidane quietly took a mental note, and he's like, all right, well, I guess if we attack them through the wings, we can probably win this game. Even if we don't win this game, we'll probably be able to scare them a little bit. We'll just play a little better. We'll get a goal eventually. So, without saying much, makes the substitutions. Vinicius, Lucas Vazquez, who links up for the goal? Ferland Mendy and Vinicius. They team up against Thomas Lemar. Poor guy, couldn't do anything. Mendy, diagonal ball to Benzema, slots it home, 1-0. That's all she wrote. Real Madrid, top of the, not the Bundesliga, top of La Liga. Silent assassins. Those were the most dangerous ones. The great team ended up winning. The great team ended up addressing their problems, fixing them, and winning the game. Because that's what great teams do. What am I trying to get out of this? Great teams find a way to win, if you guys don't understand the message here. Great teams will always find a way to win. Great players will always take their team out of the hole they dug themselves into and give them a victory. It happened with Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. And it happens with all these great players. Mohamed Salah, he did it. Thiago Alcantara, he did it with Bayern Munich this weekend. Lewandowski just finds a way to score all the damn time. How does he do it? Who knows? But he always scores. He's always there. Karim Benzema, to some, he might not be great. But goddamn, has he been scoring a lot of goals this season. And it's these great players for these great teams scoring at the appropriate times, showing up at the appropriate times. That's what great teams do. That's what great players do. And that's what great people do. They show up when adversity hits. They don't panic. We got this. We've been here before. We know what it takes. We've seen trouble. We know how to cope with it. It's okay. It's fine. We've lived this before. We live for situations like this. Liverpool got out of that hole 1-4-0. Bayern Munich streaked a couple wins, top of the Bundesliga. Real Madrid made substitutions, beat Atletico, top of La Liga. Sometimes greatness just takes over.